across the Midlands this week. Spending too much time outside can quickly become dangerous. Heat exhaustion and heat stroke can set in faster than you might think, and knowing the warning signs could help prevent a medical emergency. Joining us this morning is Dr. Steve Shelton with Prisma Health to break down what you should watch for, the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and some simple things you can do to stay safe in this extreme heat. Good morning to you.
Morning.
So first off, I wanted to start off with the very basics of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. What are the differences?
Certainly. So heat exhaustion is one of the earlier signs you'll see. Typically, those folks are sweating profusely. They may feel kind of weak, lightheaded, nauseated, have some of those symptoms. That would be an early sign that they have a heat injury, and they need to do something then. If they don't respond, unfortunately, this could progress, and those folks will often have stop in their sweating. They'll get very hot, and then the key indication between the heat exhaustion and heat stroke is they actually become confused to the point they could actually become unconscious or potentially have a seizure. If you have those, or if you recognize that in yourself or someone sees that, that is a true emergency. You need to get them into a cool area, and you need to activate the 911 system immediately.
Absolutely, and we know students are back in school now, and for those students who are doing those extracurriculars, whether it's football, band, cheerleading outside, what are some of the things that some of the advisors or the coaches and stuff should look for in those students as they are out in these extreme temperatures?
Yes. Especially in the afternoons when the temperatures are high, humidity is high. It's very difficult for the body to cool itself. So they need to make sure they're proactive. Make sure those athletes are hydrated well. Drinking early, make sure they're drinking the proper liquids. Typically want to avoid anything that's high sugar, high caffeine, or alcohol. So you want to focus on the things that can hydrate them well. And then frequent rest breaks, especially this time of the year. Making sure that if they're very active, that they're resting properly, and keep a good eye on the kids. If you start noticing that they're not acting right for some reason, you need to cool them down, get them some rest time.
And in the unfortunate event that we see maybe a student faint, during a practice or something, what are some of the things folks who are around them that they can do to kind of help them as first responders may be on the way?
Yes. First thing is get them into a cool place, preferably some air condition. If you can't get to air condition, at least get them to a place that's shade, cooler than others, maybe a fan, something to cool them off. Get them some cool liquids to drink, and make sure you keep an eye on them. Again, if they're not sweating, if their skin feels really hot, they're confused, then you're on the edge of a heat stroke, and that is a 911 emergency.
And in the emergency room, how often do you guys see folks here in the Midlands come in with these heat-related illnesses and things of that nature?
We see a lot of it, and it varies at times. Heat can affect folks that have chronic medical problems, and they can make some of those chronic medical problems worse. Individuals with diabetes, heart disease, lung disease may come in because their symptoms have gotten worse, and it could be due to the heat itself or the dehydration that the heat brings.
And what's a misconception that you see a lot surrounding heat exhaustion and maybe heat stroke?
Sure. Folks think they're acclimated. They think they can handle it, and they need to not overestimate their capabilities. If you have to be out in the heat, try to choose a time that's cooler. Pick the morning, things like that. Make sure that you're hydrating well in advance. A lot of folks like to be out drinking alcohol, high caffeine drinks, some of the energy drinks. Those can further dehydrate you and make the heat exhaustion even worse.
And I want to go back to the alcohol because I know we're getting closer to the weekend. We're at hump day, but we're getting closer to the weekend as well. And so heat and alcohol, they don't go hand in hand.
Don't go well together. Again, the alcohol can further dehydrate you, which makes you at increased risk of heat exhaustion. So make sure that you're being smart about it. Make sure that you're hydrating, drinking some non-alcoholic beverages in between your alcohol if you choose to drink.
Absolutely. And I know you spoke about sweating. What does sweat do for you as it relates to the heat and being outside in those temperatures?
It's your body's natural way of cooling itself. You sweat, that sweat evaporates, and it cools. Unfortunately, here in the South, you notice that the humidity was 98% today, so you don't, that sweat doesn't evaporate nearly as easy. So it makes it much more difficulty. With the high heat and the high humidity, the body has a hard time cooling itself naturally. So that makes it difficult for us. But sweating is the key way to cool yourself.
And when you talked about the folks who feel like they can make it, at what time do you feel, or when should folks say, all right, I need to go to the hospital? What are those signs looking like when it's no longer go inside and drink some water, it's you need to go to the hospital?
Right. If those individuals can't cool off, if their nausea progresses to vomiting, they can't keep liquids down, and even worse, if they progress to the heat stroke symptoms where their body stops sweating, they get very hot and they get confused, that is an immediate emergency right there, and they need to come to the emergency department immediately.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you'd like to let the people know this morning as it relates to these extreme temperatures that we're going to see?
The key is, again, being smart, prepare yourself, try to avoid the heat is the first option. Make sure that you drink plenty of liquids, wear proper clothing, and then the key with the kids. I do notice that folks, the concern if you leave a child in a car or a pet or an elderly individual, those cars get hot quick, and you can have heat injuries very fast for those individuals. So be very mindful of that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you guys for watching. We're going to place this interview on our website so you can watch it and stay safe in these extreme heated conditions. We'll be right back.